All right. So it's saying we are live, and I always have to check. Always go back and check my different
Your
feeds
different
to see
channels, surely.
and see that I'm up and live. All right. Okay. So we're up live. I'm seeing me live on Facebook, and let me check over here. Right. And good. Okay. Looking good so far.
Excellent.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, good morning from the Caribbean. Of course, we we are right here in the Caribbean. We're joining Trinidad and Barbados together. But I also want to say, of course, for persons who are joining us live, wherever you are from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Um, Excited to be here. We are live on LinkedIn, we are live on Facebook, we are live on Twitter. And, I'm just excited. Let me know if you are hearing me and seeing me because that's very important. And let me know where you guys are joining us from. Feel free to put it into the comments wherever you are joining us from, anywhere around the world, anywhere in the Caribbean. Let us know where you are joining us from. Let me know if you are hearing me and seeing me. It's very important. I'm very excited. I have Nikisha here from Nikisha, and I hope I don't butcher anyone's name, so I apologize beforehand. Nikisha is from Jamaica, and she is on LinkedIn with us. And we're gonna have some more persons come on our live stream. So very, very excited to be here. Julian and I go back maybe to 2019. Yes, a wonderful biz conference where I met him
Correct.
on a
Correct.
beautiful island, Montserrat. And we have been colleagues and friends since, and just chatting and communicating. So I'm excited to have him here because he is an online business coach, and we have so many companies, so many entrepreneurs jumping online. And I just want to get his expertise. Of course, we have persons again. I have Rachel from Trinidad, Rennie from Trinidad, Kareem from Turks and Caicos. Um, Dr. Moses is here. He has Grenada, Guyana, and that's a thing with Caribbean nationals. We get around, right? And I have Henry here from, I am assuming it's Great Britain. You will let me know if I'm making a good guess there, right? So Julian, I have more persons, Trinidad, etc. But we're gonna jump in. I'm gonna give Julian an opportunity to introduce himself. And as I mentioned, we're talking about online business, building your business online, and how best to go about this. So Julian, you take it away.
No problem. Thanks very much, Debbie. And thanks, obviously, to the audience who are joining, where all over the world that they're joining from. And as Debbie said, we've had a great relationship, and now taking that to working together. So Um, just to give you a little bit of background myself, I'm an online business coach, and people say, "All right, Julian, what does that actually mean?" And really, that means that I assist entrepreneurs and small and medium-sized businesses make sense and do business efficiently in this online environment. I believe that we have the world continues to shift, and more focus is now in the digital realm. And so there are a number of people who need to get up to speed with the technologies are always changing, the platforms are always changing, the strategy now versus a brick and mortar type environment, or starting off in a regular entrepreneurial world. That's where I focus on. So everything from just helping people to understand the various concepts that are out there versus making choices with regards to what they're going to be using in their business, right down to assisting them with hooking up. I know it will come up in the discussion. specifically here in the Caribbean, of course, different payment systems. So that's so very excited to
Wonderful.
be here and look forward to sharing some valuable information with the attendants.
Wonderful. So one of the first things I want to ask you, because persons have been in the online space for a while, doing business online. Some persons, of course, and some entrepreneurs do it better than others. There are different versions of companies online. I want to kind of start from the beginning, which is what should individuals really be considering when they say, hey, I want to have an online business, so I want to start an online business, so I want to start an e-commerce business, what should they be considering before just jumping on?
Sure. Thanks, Debbie. And again, that's great to start at that foundation. The start there is really it's a business. And I find that unfortunately, some people still believe that the internet is there. I don't need to do the level of research that I would have done if I was starting a regular brick and mortar. And
Right.
you do need to do all of that groundwork. You need to understand the market that you're going into. You need to understand who else is doing or potentially doing what you are going to be doing. You need to understand what's going to be your market differentiator. So what are the costs that are involved in that industry that you're going to?
Mm,
What actually is the demand for those products or services now in the online space? And so research, I think, is a large part of before you even get to that point of deciding, yes, I'm going to be doing this online. You really need to do some basic business research. Um,
right. And I see that as an issue already as a marketing person. When I ask persons, they have a love for a business, but is it sometimes they hold it so close, it's a baby, but
yeah,
they haven't done that market analysis to see the viability
yeah.
of
And
it.
and it really goes a little bit further down into, you know, what's the full plan, what's the budget, break it down into the various areas. So in the
Hmm.
online space, I would say the online space has all of the costs of a regular brick and mortar business. All right. And people say, oh, no, I thought I was going to get away from it because I'm online. You're not really getting away from it. But what you need to
Hmm.
do is understand that you possibly will get more bang for your buck. I will tell you that for sure. And
Right.
you can reach a more targeted audience, but you're still going to have those costs. So in your physical world, you would have said, hey, I have to pay rent. You know, in the online world, you need to pay for your hosting fees, right? You need to host your
Right.
information in your online space somewhere. Now, those could be
Okay.
minimal, but you have to put that into your budget. Yeah, you need to
Uh-huh.
know now what are all of your operational costs, like anything else. For marketing, it could be that, well, I'm just going to put it online and it's going to sell. No, if you were doing a regular brick and mortar store, you would be paying to go into the newspaper or radio ads or whatever else. Now you need to take those funds and now repurpose them, or sorry, not reallocate them to your online marketing. So there will be certain generic and organic growth that you can get from yourself just doing some posting, as well as putting out some articles. However, realistically, to get most value out of it, rely on a professional. So you now are going to have to therefore um, spend some funds on a social media marketer, on an online marketer who understands different platforms, who understands where to buy keywords for your industry or for product or service that you're trying to sell, and then implements that for you. So as I
Very
say,
interesting.
yeah, it is taking or allocating those funds. First, you need to know how much you have from a budget point of view, but also allocating when you understand how much you have, how best to spend those funds, and you're going to get the
Right.
best bang out of your buck being able to work along with professionals or specialists in the different areas.
Very interesting. I never compared it that way, Julian, to brick and mortar. But persons actually do feel as though, well, once it's set up online, the customers will come and I'll be a millionaire. But no, you're
It's the
right.
internet, and it's or I'm going to do something and it's going to go viral. Well,
Yes.
it is one in a thousand or one in a million that will happen. With a lot of the other information that you're seeing are sponsored posts or strategically done in that way. So somebody has paid for a specific keyword. Somebody has set up their website with what
Right.
we call SEO. So they've done
SEO.
search
Yep.
engine optimization. So it's not by
Mm-hmm.
chance that you are coming across their site or their online presence. They have actually paid for it, either
Mm-hmm.
to be promoted to you, or you have now matched a profile through your age, your demographics, that they are saying, I think that this material is good for this type of individual. Let me put it in front of them. Right.
Very
So
true.
it is very important for business owners to know that. Um,
Right.
the other thing I wanted to say, Debbie, as well, depending on wherever you are in that cycle, is really to understand what your strengths are. Okay, so
Yes.
for all in the online space, there's lots to do. There is, as I say, the technical aspect of upkeeping whatever platform, changing content, putting up the products, changing your pricing, doing that marketing, etc. You really need to understand, as a business owner or as an entrepreneur, what are your strengths, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore when you put out your plan, what are you going to take on? Are you going to be updating your site? Do you
Mm.
understand coding? Are you going to be putting up the pictures? Are you going to be doing everything? Now that's okay if you are and if you have to, but understand therefore that that's still a cost. And the
Right.
day that you want to run and scale your business, you're going to have to step aside, and now you're going to be paying someone to do this for you. Okay. And
Right.
I know obviously from a personal experience point of view, as well as in the region, people will say, "Yep, I'm bootstrapped. I'm doing all of these things myself." By the way, there you will hit a wall, right? So
Yeah.
you can do it, but it's not realistic for scaling your business in that
Right.
manner.
Yeah.
And coming back to the same plan and budget, you need to factor that in, because when you can't do it all, what
Right.
happens
Yes.
then? You
Right.
still in the online space have to pay for someone else to do it, and
Absolutely.
yeah, and sometimes you
It's
don't
true.
have the skill. I smile and laugh with people. I'm not a coder. I understand coding very well. I appreciate all of the skills that web developers have, but I'm not a coder, so I don't sit down and actually develop the page. But do I understand the core concepts with regards to, regardless of whatever platform you're on, whether it's Shopify or WordPress or Drupal or whatever you're going to be doing? Sure, those core concepts are key to me. Yeah, so
Right.
I will interface with. I tell my customers I'll interface with your web developer, but don't call Julian and say, Julian, can you do a page for me? No, I can't.
Yes. I
that's
totally
not
agree. It's
that's not my
multifaceted.
core strength.
Yes.
So I'm
And you
not going
have
to
to
do it.
know that.
I
Yeah.
need,
You
but you
really
need
do
to
know that.
know what are you going to be doing and what are you not
Mm-hmm.
going to be doing, um, and
Right.
and that is key for you.
I
Um,
totally agree. I mean, I learned marketing in school the traditional way, and now it has so evolved. And even as a person that's running a marketing agency, I don't know everything. There's so many aspects of it. There's social media marketing, there's copywriting, there's the web developer stuff, there's SEO stuff, and really, to really be effective, you need to learn about it or get the expertise, get the persons who are able to help you in that regard. and
Right.
plan for it, as you rightfully said. We do have
Yeah.
to plan for these costs.
Yeah, and as I say, it goes back to that core thing I said with regards to research, which says
Hmm.
understand what are the market rates for these types of services, so that
Right.
when you do go to a service provider, I mean, you have definitely you have job boards and you have agencies that you can go and find out. So when somebody tells you, all right, it's going to be $500 to put together this campaign, and you're just like, whoa, no, I only factored 50. You need to really understand what's
Hmm.
that skill set again, and really
Yes.
what do you need to be paying for it. You can definitely pay for it in you can pay for it on Fiverr or Upwork. But if a
Right.
service provider then comes and says, okay, it's $25 an hour to develop this website, and it's going to take me about 30 hours. Oh, no, no, no. Is that
Yes.
out of the ballpark? Is that realistic? You need to really know that when you go out to source this service, that you have a
Hmm.
clue, so that someone also doesn't take advantage of you,
Right.
with regards to the services that they are going to be delivering. So it as I said, it takes some doing. It surely you need to understand what exactly you are getting into in this
Into.
online space. Um,
Absolutely.
the I don't know if any questions have come in yet, Abby, but
No.
I'll go on with some key things as well that have come up with all of the discussions with small businesses and entrepreneurs. As I said, the
Yes,
consideration.
yeah, I just post that in the comments there
Sure,
that anybody to feel free to, if they have any
sure, they can.
questions, feel free to put it in the
I
comments.
love
Yes,
talking about this area, so I will just continue going.
yes,
One of the other key things is I find that sometimes the entrepreneurs and small businesses, you don't need to start as large as you think you do,
uh-huh,
and it is important. It's more important, people tell you, to get up and going than to start large and start big. Okay, so I have seen
I fully
significant
endorse that.
I
Start where
have
you are.
seen
Yeah,
I have seen significant cases where people have spent hundreds or thousands of dollars developing this presence, putting it out there, and then
hmm,
realizing that this is not actually what their customers want.
right,
I always guide people that the customers in the online space are going to guide you, whether it is a service that you're providing or a physical product. So the
right,
sooner that you get there and start interfacing with them, the more information you're going to get out of it. Yeah. So this online space gives you a lot of data.
hmm,
That's definitely one of the key things I would say in the online environment. You're going to understand where your customers are coming from. A lot of things are going to be tracked through your analytics,
right,
whatever platform you are on and whatever you are
hmm,
using. So and you are able to now tie back. For example, I did this type of posting, I put this here, and then you can see where the people actually came to your site or to your online presence from, and you use
right,
that information for yourself. Now in a brick and mortar, as I say, it's a little bit harder to know, did they come from
exactly.
the TV ad or a
Yes,
radio ad or
yes,
something I did online, unless you tie
hmm,
it back with some type of promotion to say, yes, this is actually how I got to this customer.
yes,
um, so as I say, starting small and getting that feedback and using that to guide where you should be going, what you should be investing your funds in, what area of a product or a service you should be developing faster, the customers will let you know.
yes,
So there is a lot of time, energy, funds that can be spent on doing the market research. And obviously that's good, but it's never guaranteed. So
right,
get it up and get it out there. Are
right.
people actually going to um, buy this product? And then when they buy it, are you actually taking 2 days to deliver or a couple hours to deliver, or delivering this immediately through, if it's a soft if it's a digital good.
Right.
Walking through that process is really important, and your customers will tell you, okay, this, you know what, your business is your checkout page is it's too convoluted.
Right.
You're asking for too much information. It is chunky. I don't know where to go on your site. Now, if you've spent $1,000 developing that site,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're like, oh no, no, I've gotten this. I know to need to spend $1,000 more to solve this scenario. Um, it's better to start, as I say, just start simple, start small. If it's one product, if it's one service, choose it, get it up, and get it out there. And
Wonderful.
like anything
I do
else,
agree that.
yeah, and
I
people will
agree.
let you know whether that is what they actually want to interface with.
That's very true. I tell persons that all the time. My business as well has evolved, and again, based on clients' needs. Clients tell you, "Hey, I want this. Hey, I want this. I'm looking for from this," and then you make decisions on whether you change, you modify your product or service for those particular needs and wants.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And in this particular online space, what I would say is as well, there is no harm in using other platforms, or in using these same marketplaces. So if
Right.
you have an
Okay.
idea, if you have a product or a type of service to sell, test it out. Test it out by putting it onto a marketplace. Oh, by the way, it is getting some traction. Okay, now I can use the funds or the cash flow from that traction to go and pull it off, or just
Okay.
or extend it and do my
Okay.
own site now. So you can get it on marketplace, or you can now get it directly from me. And you get it directly from me, I have a little bit more control over the customer service level, over exactly what the customer experience is going to be. But you have something that is already proven. You thought about it, you've done your research, put it out there, and you see, oh yes, this is at the right price point. It's the right type of logistics and delivery that is associated with it. Customers have bought
Mm-hmm.
it, and actually customers now continue to come back and buy it again and again and again. All
Uh-huh.
right, so
I
there's
like
that.
that. I like that you said that, Julian, as well, because I've heard persons be hesitant about doing a trial like that. Like, should
Yeah,
I do it? But
yeah.
I like that you reinforce that. Yeah.
Yeah, so trials are, it is very cost effective, obviously, to utilize a marketplace. If you don't want to utilize a marketplace, then do what we call a hosted type solution, and that's the right solution for many individuals, right,
Right.
or businesses. Find a hosted type service, a hosted, if you're doing commerce, a hosted cart. If you're doing any other types of services, find a hosted solution, which is probably, $20-$30 a month, if you need to. And
Right.
again, trial it. You can only learn from that experience. So
Right.
it's minimum investment to get, as I say, actual feedback from your potential customers, and you are now delivering a service to them. And then you can say, well, okay, this is actually working. Now I need to go, as I say, and invest in my own site. And you can transition them from one to the other. And for some
Right.
people, they don't even actually end up having to transition, because the hosted solution is enough for them. It is a
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's a simple solution, and it works for the entrepreneur. It works for the small business. People are getting what they need at the price point that they need, and so there isn't the need to go out and buy my own site, develop something that is custom made, that I still need to update, I still need to upkeep and maintain it on an ongoing basis. All right, so that
Okay.
so definitely that would be another key thing. And the
Wonderful.
final one, Debbie, in the considerations, of
Yes.
course, people may have for if you followed some of my other content, I would tell you, please think payments first. So
Mm.
specifically here in the Caribbean,
Yes.
I will
Yes.
tell you, the payment options have increased significantly over the last
Okay.
few years. Definitely driven
Right.
as well by COVID
COVID.
in the last 2.5 years. And so you have way more options than you used to have. PayPal is not the only option, and
Right.
it is definitely, in my personal opinion, not the preferred option.
Mm-hmm.
There is enough local and regional options available to you uh, for you to use in your different geographies,
Mm-hmm.
and think about it and do that other research. So shop around the financial institutions, look and see what are these payment service providers, what are the different offerings from these payment service providers.
Right.
But think about that. I've seen those cases again of people developing a full solution, saying, okay, I've developed this solution on this fantastic platform. Let me just now go to the financial institution or the bank and connect it. And by the way, the bank doesn't have a connector for that platform. Okay, well,
Right.
they
Wow.
then start saying, well, bank, you are not, you are not up to speed. Well, the bank actually is up to speed, but if you went and did the research ahead of time, you would know that the bank supports Shopify and WordPress and WooCommerce and these specific plugins. And so you would have
Uh-huh.
some understanding of, if you're going to be doing e-commerce, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing because I want to work with this particular financial institution.
Okay.
And as I say, if not that financial institution, then you have other providers who are now making other options available to you. But
Yes.
think about specifically in the online space how you are going to be collecting your funds. Okay.
Funds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not doing a physical delivery with a swipe card and a chip machine, if you want to be
Yes.
doing online payments, think about who you're doing those online payments with. What do you need to be collecting online? Is it just Visa and MasterCard, or based on your country, do you need to be taking other cards as well? Who are the
Mm.
providers who are able to process those cards for you? Yeah.
Right.
You need to think through, as I say, the full process, thinking of, I'm never going to see or touch physically or feel this customer. So I need to do everything in this online space to be able to interact with them, whether it is from
Wow.
feedback to payment to logistics. How am I doing all of this in the online space?
Right. And payment is big. I mean, at the end of the day, we need to get paid. So if we need to consider that, you're right. We need to consider that at the beginning.
At the
Um,
beginning, before you even start any development.
you need to think about that. Yes.
Yes, they think payments first and make it a key part of your business planning and of your business development.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So let me ask you, let me go on the flip side now, which is
Sure.
um, persons get on online, and what are maybe some of the mistakes you see that entrepreneurs make when they start an e-commerce business, or when
Yeah.
they start an e-commerce
Sure.
brand.
Sure. And it is kind of variations of those same types of themes.
Say
What I would say
yes.
is, yeah, what I would say is, what I've seen, some of the mistakes is, as I said, trying to please too many people. And I'm sure
Mm,
that many people think, no, you have to put out lots of things and then see what takes. What I would say is, again, start just like in the starting small. Really choose who you want to be servicing, whether, again,
right,
whether that's from a product point of view or a um, services point of view. Who
right,
exactly are your customers? And the benefit that you have in the online space is that you actually can do a lot of uh, very detailed targeting. So the
right.
same platforms that we all work on and use and enjoy, the same Instagrams and Facebooks
Yep.
and Google itself, you can get that information with regards to saying, who am I targeting? I'm targeting a 20 to 35-year-old who likes this particular type of product or engages with this type of content and lives in this specific area, you can get
Mm-hmm.
very, very detailed. And so the mistake that I see is that people are very generic with their products or with their advertising, and then they don't get the return, and they're just like, well, we spent so much money, we put out all of these, we put out these ads and we put out these products and we blasted it, or and we didn't get any return.
Yes,
And,
I hear
and
that too. Yep.
Yep. And the mistake, therefore, is really understanding, as I say, exactly who you are after,
You're right.
who your ideal client is,
Client is. Yep.
and therefore spending the funds, therefore, in that particular area. So it may, to you initially, it may seem counterproductive, but actually that is, you will get way more feedback in that
Mm-hmm.
manner. You may say, oh,
Yes.
I thought my people were the 20 to 35-year-olds, but they're
Right.
actually the 30 to 45-year-olds. Okay,
Right.
now I can shift who I'm going to be targeting. So that's definitely one
Mm-hmm.
key mistake
It's a
that I
mistake.
see.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
agree. I see it.
as I say, the online space is not, it's nothing to be feared. It really is just to take your time and understand it.
Right.
The other key thing I see, as I say, following on from the initial points, is really customization. So people move into spending a lot of funds thinking that they need to be really, really different. I mean, totally, totally different. And so they spend a lot of time and energy working with the same um, web developers to
Right.
say, this is what I really want. And so they're making a lot of modifications to the templates or to the code. And what then happens is you spend a lot more funds updating and changing those things. So the more customization that you do in your initial build, whatever type of solution it is, e-commerce or not,
Mm-hmm.
the amount of customization you do, understand that that then drives more costs, specifically from your maintenance point of view. Yeah. So when
Wow.
an update comes, when an upgrade has to be done, you're paying for more hours. Now,
Mm.
uh, therefore, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, have your own unique spin on it.
Right.
However,
Correct.
what you
Yeah.
can do is really be realistic with your developers to say, here's a core theme that I'm using. I'm changing this type of look and feel for it, but I don't need to want to say, I don't want to change something to something totally different, so that I
Right.
know that when it comes to the time to doing the updates and upgrades, you then minimize your costs, yeah, with regards to doing so, because you don't need to be taking as much into consideration when you are moving up.
All right. I have one question
Sure.
just to jump in there. Aisha asks, a lot has been said about product-based businesses. Any tips for online coaches or consultants? Must-haves for startups, needed tools or marketing strategies, etc. So for service-based type
Sure.
businesses, coaches and online consultants, any tips there?
Sure. For services-based businesses, I'll say, let me be clear. I thought that was. Let me clear that up. So for services-based businesses, same type of core concepts from point of view of understanding who are your services for. So
Mm-hmm.
just as how it is product-based, that you can do the slicing and dicing down to those specific people, you can also do that from a service-based business. So a
Correct. Yep.
service-based business, you need to understand what is your service, who are you therefore best made for, who is that service best made for, and you can also get those demographics through the same types of platforms. Okay, service-based businesses, I think what will be a little bit more important than a product-based will be the customer interaction. So for a e-commerce type business, it's the catalog of goods, and as well as understanding the orders. For a service-based business, it's more of a same CRM type solution or a customer relationship management solution.
Mhm.
So when do you actually interface with this customer or potential customer? How did they come to you?
Right.
What ongoing conversations have you had? Have you tried? Here's a low end product, here's a medium end product, and here's a high end product. And have you actually interfaced with them and tried them on each of those, and giving them an opportunity to now interface with you as well.
Right.
For services and consultants, um, I would say that the key thing at this point in time again is now content. So
Yeah.
it's not just a buzzword. So for a product-based business, you need to be putting out, yes, more features, functions, and product-based ads. For a consultant and a coach, it's more understanding um, why or developing your authority in that particular area,
Yes. And the
and
value. Yeah.
what value do you bring? And people are
Hmm.
only going to see um, a limited amount that you're able to put onto a physical web page or any other type of online presence. So you
Right.
need to be doing just that, sharing, yes, sharing tips, um, doing these types
Yes.
of engagements, letting
Hmm.
people know what your skill set is and why they should be doing business with you.
Agreed.
And you don't need to blend it into all of the different mistakes. As I say, you don't need to be everywhere. And that definitely is from an online point of view. You don't need to be everywhere. So people say, "Oh, I need to repurpose and blast my content everywhere." You actually
Yeah.
don't. And
Yeah.
and for smaller entrepreneurs and some of the small businesses as well, it is not as significant value than choosing the right platform. So
Platforms.
if
Yeah.
that is LinkedIn, if that is IG, if that is Facebook, it really just depends on what is that platform for you and your potential customers. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they need to, as a consultant and a coach, where are your people hanging out or your potential customers hanging out? You need to
Agreed.
go onto that platform and you need to interface with them in that manner. Okay.
Right. And
Um,
build that
so
platform. Yeah.
yeah. So tools would be something to be able to collect collect and manage your interaction with your potential customers or clients, but also being able to put information out, um, letting them understand, as I say, your knowledge base, and understand educate them. People tell you you need to inform and you need to entertain. If that's your thing, sure. But if not, you need to educate them so that when they
Yes.
have a decision to
Agreed.
make, they then come back and say, okay, yes, this person, I have followed them for a little while, and I actually think they know what they're talking about. Now that I have
Yes.
the time or the funds to actually make a decision or to do some business, I'm going to go back to them.
Right. Agreed. Agreed. Good. Good.
Yeah. So that kind of is definitely one of the areas.
Right.
A mistake that I would also I hope that addressed
I
Aisha's question.
Aisha's question. Yes.
I really do hope that mixed in there, she got some very clear answers there. The other thing that I would say is two other key points from the mistakes, Debbie, and I know time is going, is really just unnecessary expenses.
Mhm.
So unnecessary expenses, both on the product side, as I say, and
Ah,
on the services side.
okay.
So definitely it is invest in the services that you need at that point in time.
Right.
So on a product side, don't go buying. You'd say this for a regular business. Don't go on and rent space in a warehouse and
Hmm.
have hundreds of, or thousands of dollars worth of goods sitting down. as much as possible, see how you can have a just in time. Yeah. So how
Right.
can you
Okay.
get to that supplier if it's not your personal products? How can you get to the supplier, pick it up, and streamline your logistics so you're not
Yes.
paying that warehousing cost from the start? You
Mm-hmm.
want your business to grow there, that's fine, but don't start there. Don't
Right.
start with so many overheads that it is not feasible to make it up in that first year.
Right.
The
Okay.
Yeah. So feeding into that, it really is from online space. Online takes time. People sometimes
Yep.
don't like to hear that. Online takes time,
Yep.
whether it
Mm-hmm.
is a physical product or if it's a service. If it's a physical product, it takes time. It takes time to develop the keywords. It takes time for your site to now rank and be recognized through Google.
Right.
It's
Right.
time to drive the traffic there. You can
Mm-hmm.
spend a lot of money very quickly and say, all right, I want X amount of traffic. I'm going to spend this large amount of advertising. But what happens in that case is that customers come or potential customers come, they come to the page, they don't like it, they move on.
Move. Right.
Yeah. What you want to do is you want to focus on really quality customers. So you focus on the quality versus the quantity.
Hmm.
So you want when people come to actually be able to say, okay, increase the chances of them actually making a purchase, whether it's a physical product or actually making a purchase of one of your services that you have to offer. Yeah,
Right.
so you have to do that over time.
Hmm.
SEO, I'll just finish on this for search engine optimization. For example, an SEO campaign, I would say for consistent traffic, you're talking 3 to 6 months.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
for it to bring true valuable customers or clients or potential clients to you. So people say, "Oh well, I'm going to turn it on, and next week I'm going to have exactly who I want." No, it it takes some time. So you need to budget like any other business, as I say, six
Yes.
months to a year of thinking. These are my projections. This is what's going to be happening. That's great. But if it doesn't happen, you're going to spend time adjusting
Justing. Exactly. Yep.
and then seeing the results. And those results aren't going to be overnight. Those results are going to be, you'll see it in a month's time, you'll see it in 2 months' time, you'll see it over those
Very
months.
true.
What's the consistency of your traffic? All right. So, um, yeah, you just need to
Totally agree there. Mm-hmm.
need to budget longer term. Um,
I feel like
uh,
we have having the same type of conversations with clients
yeah,
because I
it is. As I said, and that's it in the online space. It's really just to
yes.
understand, what to focus on. Final thing I'd
Mm-hmm.
say in that regards, Debbie, is growth. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and this is where you need to focus on working with potentially, yes, somebody like myself to say, I said start small, but know where you want to go, know
To
what
go
you want to
right,
grow to,
right.
and have a general plan with regards to what you're going to do to grow there. So start on the most
Mm-hmm.
basic hosting plan.
Right,
But as your customers increase, whether that be from a product or a service, where you're going to grow to, what you're going to do
right,
next. Yeah, when you've worked it out and worked out, okay, I'm started on a hosted solution. Next part of my strategy is I'm going to grow to my own personal site. Yeah, great.
right.
So
Okay.
while you're saving, making some funds, and saving some of the profits out of the hosted solution, you're taking that and investing on the development of your site, so you can now
Mm-hmm.
transition those customers over.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's to understand some type of plan with regards to what's next, um,
Right.
and and so you don't get caught off guard because you know, okay, I'm doing this, but I'm doing this for a period of time. And I know
Yes.
when I hit this marker, I'm going to be moving on to the next thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So So
I'm hearing your themes as being a lot of research and planning. That's very important if you're getting
it
into
is
in the online space. You must research and you must plan and plan from a number of perspectives in terms of strategy of what your brand is supposed to be online, as well as planning financially how you're going to actually scale that e-commerce business as well. So that's what I'm getting. Yeah, your
most
themes. Yes,
definitely.
yes. Last question,
Sure.
which I feel we've kind of answered already,
Yeah.
is really for persons that want to get online, because lots of persons now feel it is you know the way to achieve passive income. It's the way it's the next best side hustle. It's we have to get on online. So how do you think persons should go about assessing whether the idea they have is really a viable online business to begin with?
And I'll go back, not to go back to to the core, but it's really putting the pen to paper. So it
Right,
is understanding what the potential is, understanding what's the size of that market potentially, who are those customers, seeing who else is in the market at the present time. So you can, yes, look at potential
right.
competitors. So you can look
Absolutely.
at potential competitors, and you can uh, the hidden secret, you sign up as a customer of theirs, test their
Mm-hmm.
service, see
Mm-hmm.
what it is that they are doing, and you can kind of get a rough idea. We don't have a lot, unfortunately, specifically here in the Caribbean, we don't have a lot of business data readily available. However,
Yeah.
you can get some understanding of those different things.
Right.
Yeah, so you need to be you need to use the tools that you do have. There are some very basic tools. There's Survey Monkey. Who do
Yes.
you think you're going to
Absolutely.
be? Who you're going to be servicing, whether it's a product or a service. Put together a survey, put it out there. If I was going to be charging you $100 an hour, would you come to and do some consulting with me? If I'm going
Right.
to offer you delivered meals at $50 a week, are you willing to pay for that service? And
Right.
put that survey out there. And so you will get the feedback, because
Mm-hmm.
again, it will choose who are the people that you are after, and actually they'll be able to give you that feedback. Yes, oh no, I can get that service over here for $45, so why am I going to pay you $50? And then
Right.
you have to say, okay, well, these are my value adds that I need to put into my service.
Right.
um, so the viability really comes down to the same business planning, as you said, business and financial planning. And in the
Right.
online space, it really is determining what your metrics are going to be. So what
Okay.
are your, if it's a physical product based thing, what are your metrics going to be? What do you expect your average order value to be? Yeah. So you have
Okay.
X amount of customers coming in. What do you expect from each customer that you want to bring to your site? Um, what do you expect to spend on that advertising? What do you expect um, for them? How long do you expect to keep them as a customer? And these things are all part of, even when you go to the bank or financial institution, they're going to
Yes.
ask you the same thing. They're going to say,
Yeah.
you're now going to be processing online payments, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a feeling. How many
Mm-hmm.
customers are going to come to your site?
Very true.
Yeah, or to your online service? And you're going to be charged based on that. Hey, I expect 20 people a month, but those 20 people are going to be paying me $500 each time. Okay, you're going to be put at this rate. I expect 500 people a month and they're going to be paying $10. Okay, you're going to get a lower rate because of the
Mm-hmm.
volume of your types of transactions. So, what's that average order value? And that will help determine how viable your business is going to be. All right, so you need
Wow.
to have an understanding, whoever you're talking to, and the final thing I'll end on is just your is understanding your customer retention. What kind of those same metrics? What are you going to be what are you going to be aiming for? So how long, as you say, when you do get a customer, whether it is a product-based business or a service-based business,
Service. Mhm.
yeah, how when you do get them, how long do you expect to keep them, and what's the path that you're going to take them through? If it's a product, are you going to bring them and then hope that they buy from these different various categories, and then you're keeping them? Um, Once you have them, they find that I should remember. I don't remember the exact the exact percentage, but obviously it's much easier to sell to a customer once
Yes.
they have actually purchased a product from you, a
Hmm.
product or a service, right? And you retain them by offering a
Yes.
range of other goods and services to them. So the bulk of that
Absolutely.
is now in actually getting them to your site, and when they come, actually being
Yeah,
able to
return.
deliver on whatever you promoted. Yeah.
Right. Good.
So that's what I would say from a viability point of view, understanding the market, being able to put some figures around those things, and also being able
Hmm.
to potentially measure. And as I say, that's where some of the trials come in as well. Put it out there and see. What you thought may have been a bestseller may not fly as well as the dark horse product or service that you do put out, right? So
It's so true. Mhm.
your
You need
customers want to know.
customer feedback. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
Totally agree with you. So,
yeah.
Julian, tell everybody how they can get in contact with you. Where can they
Sure,
reach you and find you?
sure. So my main my main channels are LinkedIn, IG, and LinkedIn and IG are my main channels, and
Okay.
my YouTube channel as well. Okay, all of them
Okay.
are slash at Julian Greg MR. So at Julian Greg Mr.
Right.
JulianGreigMR. You can go to my main website, juliangreg.com. You can get in contact directly with me there. Or, of course, as I said, message me on any of those other platforms. And I'd happy to continue the conversation or address any questions which didn't come up today.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Julian. And thank you, everyone who joined us from all around the Caribbean, all around the world. You gave us really, some interesting things to think about, and even myself to kind of reevaluate as we're ending this year and going into a new year. There are some things that I also need to look at in
Yeah.
terms of how I sell on the line as well. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. And guys, we'll see each other again. You all take care.
Thanks again for the opportunity, Debbie. Be in touch.
Not a problem.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye bye.